Thank you. Could you briefly introduce yourself to our viewers, please?
Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm Julian. I'm with Say now, right? So at Say right now, I handle, all the infrastructure on Say, yeah, right? Like example, you need RPC, archive codes, and all that. Basically, making sure that everyone or all the devs that's looking to build on Say, they have the necessary tools to actually build the kind of stuff that they need on Say, right? Apart from that, I also help out in terms of like building out the grants and investment framework for Say. So a lot of like working very closely with the other kind of BDs and all that kind of stuff on Say to really make sure that we structure the deal right, that's comfortable with for both the foundation as well as projects.
Great, thank you so much. Where are you based?
I am from Singapore, but I'm currently living out in Korea right now.
Great.
At least for a short time.
How do you like it?
The weather would have been a lot better, to be honest. But I guess I'm used to it because Singapore is pretty hot, humid, right? So like now Korea is like what coming end of summer-ish. So I'm pretty much looking forward to autumn as well as winter to come. So yeah.
Thank you. We would like to know what was the motivation behind the creation of Say and what problem is Say trying to solve?
Well, I think when you look at a lot of the L1s out there and all that kind of stuff, I think everyone can agree that liquidity is pretty much inefficient, right? And of course, if you're not to shit on any other chain or anything, but like, when you look at like some of the, chains that is mostly well used, like Ethereum and all that kind of stuff, they have like gas limits and they have like, they're not as fast as people like it to be, right? So if you're talking about like a lot of different kind of Web2 narratives to move on, into those, right? Some of the infrastructure are just pretty much unusable, right? And that's why you see a lot of L2s, a lot of like ZK Sync and all that kind of stuff like coming on because everyone's trying to solve the same problem, which is basically scalability, right? So for Say, I guess like when we look at all the liquidity inefficiencies and like all the other kind of stuff and the problems that they are currently solving, like I think like our mission statement is that we want to build and provide like first class infrastructure for developers to come in to build on. Right? And what we really believe in is exchange of value, right? So a lot of people think that Say is just like a DeFi chain. So I get asked that a lot, but actually it's not true. Like for us, we build a chain, so technically, you could do like NFTs and all that kind of stuff. We're not really like DYDX, which is just an application chain just for trading. For us, it's more like we believe in exchange of value and like how we build the chain with like the central limit order book system. With that, front-running MEV protection, it's all actually, advantages for like arbitrage opportunities and like for traders to really come in and trade, right? But first of all, right, like developers need to build, right? So we designed the chain in a way that is pretty fast. We designed the chain with all those kind of protections and all that kind of stuff that I mentioned because we want to really bring across that we are priding ourselves on being able to provide the infrastructure to facilitate like efficient and high quality like exchange of value, right? And this also then transcends above DeFi into like NFT, GameFi, whatever, right? Because like even if you're looking to purchase like NFTs or like you're looking to buy games or play games on the blockchain, like at some point you either need to buy the native token for gas fees, you need to purchase like NFTs, or you might even need to buy or sell like your play to earn tokens or whatever, right? And all of those are actually exchange of value. In terms of like what's available on Say right now, I mean we have Lavana, which is like a derivative POPs trading protocol.
We love the product.
You love the product? Have you tried it?
Yeah.
Okay. We have like a couple of AMMs as well, Fuzio and all that kind of stuff. Fuzio is also developing like a prediction market. We have like 2 games right now that's live, and we will have like more to come. Like so far, I think the pipeline wise, we have about like 10, 20 that's going live like in the next like 1-2 months. Most of them are actually finishing the final stages of their audits and stuff. So I would say I'm pretty much excited on what's to come. No chain is perfect, right? Like frankly speaking, I would be very impressed if a chain would launch like on day one and have 100 apps, right? So I mean it's a journey, right? It's a journey.
Of course,
and we know where we want to go, and we know like what we want to bring to the Web3 world. So for all the Say community people and all that that's like following us and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be a wild ride, I hope.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm very excited. So, Say is very well known for being super fast. So we would like to know how fast is it and what advantages does it bring to the users?
Don't quote me on this. I can't even remember. But I think it's about like 20,000 plus TPS.
Wow.
I think for blockchain when it's fast, right? I've been there in the previous bull run, right? And frankly speaking, when you have that many people actually using, right? For example, you only have like 300 TPS per second. That means technically a blockchain can only process 300 transactions per second, right? Is that really scalable for like main Web2 users? No, right? Like if you're talking about at this point, right, we're probably at the tipping, just tip of the iceberg in terms of bringing like Web2, like the real world into Web3, right? And a lot of these, like during the bull run, Ethereum can't keep up. Like I saw, like Solana broke down so many freaking times. We're just not ready, right? Mm-hmm. So we had to make it as fast as possible, right? I mean, the faster it is, the higher the gas ceiling and all that kind of stuff. That means more transactions can be processed. And I guess like everyone's pretty much pampered by like current markets. Like you wouldn't want to like click a button and wait for a transaction to sign and be stuck there waiting for like 5, 12, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, just for the miners to process or anything, right? You want it to be fast, right? You want it to be seamless.
Of course, yeah. So Say just had a mainnet launch event last month. So what is Say focusing on at this early stage, and what would be the next step for Say?
Our focus is definitely one, the apps, right? Number two, ensuring that like the ecosystem has the necessary tools to actually really bring in, right? And your previous question, I also mentioned that we are working on a couple of like dev support kind of initiatives as well. So we're definitely doing all of those. In terms of what's the next step? Well, hopefully the bull run comes back soon, or anyone, and I think everyone in the industry is pretty much having a tough time, right? And I think the logical step is to make sure that we're ready to usher in be it Web2 users or the next paradigm of whatever people be interested in.
Right. Thank you so much. So, and for those who want to learn more about Say as a beginner, how can they get started?
I think you can check out our socials.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, socials, Twitter, Discord.
Easiest way, yeah.
Discord's one of them as well.
Discord, yeah.
I think our co-founder Jay has done a lot of like interviews with CNBC in the States and all that kind of stuff, and talking a lot about the technical stuff about say what makes it different from like other kind of chains. So you can always search it up on YouTube. That's also another way. And of course, I mean for developers and all that kind of stuff, if you're coding in like Rust and like Cosmos, and you're intending to deploy and say and you don't know those languages, like I would say check those out. Else, looking at our technical documentation on our website, right? That's like the pretty much easiest way to learn about Say.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, if you're crypto guys or like communities, like come to our events. Like we're doing a couple of events in the next couple of weeks in Token 2049.
Yeah.
And now that mainnet is launched and a huge distraction is like off our plate, we're also focusing a lot in terms of growing the ecosystem, growing the community. So we'll have a lot of every now and then like events and community meetups and like community events. So yeah, just join us.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Last question.
Sure.
Is there anything you want to say to the potential users or builders in Korea?
In Korea? Well, when we actually launched, I was actually pretty much, I would say shocked, but shocked is not the right word to use.
Okay.
I think impressed would be the right word to use. Like, I think the Korean users, Korean developers are, I would say, very unique, right? Like, if you look at the exchange trading volume, just looking across all exchanges worldwide, like dude, Update doesn't even have like derivatives market and all that kind of stuff. They're top 10. It's just insane.
I know, yeah.
So Korean people are actually really crazy about crypto.
Crazy about crypto.
Yeah. And that means the developers are as well, right? I would say the trading volume on Update was like 3 or 5x like way higher than what it was on Binance on launch day. So you can actually see that like say really like Korean users and developers really love say.
Sure.
I hopefully we can get like more of those to actually be more active in our community. Not just farming those airdrops, but really deploying more dApps and all that kind of stuff on say. And yeah, I mean, right now it's KBW. We have a couple events, right? And we'll have more and more to come, right? Definitely Korea is a very strategic market for us, right? So yeah, Korean people and developers, they don't need to. I guess they wouldn't be forgotten. They're always around us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we covered all the questions. Thank you so much for the interview.